All right, so here we are, Tofino, British Columbia, and happy to be sharing this view with you this morning. So finding your way into a tall seat, I'm gonna move back to my mat here. The lighting around here is all natural, so hopefully it's not too shadowed, depending on where the light is coming from. But we'll talk through our practice today so we get nice and balanced. I'll find some level ground here. So as you find your level seat, take a moment and simply close your eyes. As always, finding a way to just notice your breath without force, without trying to push or pull the breath too hard, but to gradually invite or invoke a deeper sense of connection to your breath. At some point, you may feel a wave of inhalation. Open the mouth and just simply sigh any excess. Gather your hands at your heart center, and where your palms greet, know that you find balance from your left and your right, from the connection between in each and every breath. As I sit here on the beach in Tofino, this is North Chesterman Beach, but it is the lands of the unceded territory of the First Nations people of the Tlikwit people. And I always want to honor the land in which each of us is practicing from today, and the lineage of the practice of yoga and its roots in India. Bow your head to your heart, to anyone or anything else you'd like to send a little connection to today. Take a deep breath in and a smooth breath out. As you release your hands back to your lap, just simply catch your knees. And we'll start with just some seated cat-cows. So on the inhale, you'll pull your heart as far forward as you can and squeeze your shoulders back, lifting your chin. And as you exhale, round your spine, sitting back your tail, using your hands to not allow you to roll all the way back. Then inhale forward and exhale back. And this might invoke a deeper connection to your breathing. There is sometimes an aspect of our breath that truly comes when our body begins to move in a certain way. But I always find in the morning, if we can bring awareness to the breath, our body finds that deeper sense of connection, of movement. Do one more cycle forward. And one more exhale fully out. As you come up to sit tall, we're going to start with a simple twist, a rotation to the left side. So right hand on your left knee, left hand like a little kickstand. Because it's an early in the practice twist, not forcing, but in fact, breathing a tall breath. So your chin is at the center of your chest. And as you exhale, you can soften in the elbows and spin the ribs further around to the left side. As you inhale, you might unwind slightly, and then exhale, flex into the rotation of our spine. The greatest rotation is in the head and the neck, so from the skull to the upper C1. And come back around through center. Catch the knees for a moment. Inhale tall, exhale fully. As you take your left hand to your knee, your right hand around behind. Sit tall with the chin in the center of the chest, and as you exhale, gradually rotating. A tall breath in. A subtle twist as you breathe out. As you come back around to center, again, catching the knees. So you're letting the nervous system, because the spinal cord connects all the nervous system, come back to neutral place. And then we'll unfold the legs just enough to keep the feet flat to the outer edges and the hands around behind you. And then shifting your knees a little side to side. So though we did the rotation through our mid and upper back, we want to have a little rotation down into our pelvis and into our hips. Notice the quality of your breath. Are you simply just moving the knees from side to side? Can you invoke a deeper sense of exhale as the knees go one way and as the knees go the other way? And when you've balanced out left and right here, bring the feet back underneath or around to one side, coming onto all fours. Finding a firm foundation under your palms. I've got a unbalanced ground, so it's a little more challenging, but you find where you can be stable on all 4 points. And then stretch your left leg straight back behind you. Try not to lift from the hip, but place the toes even on the ground and push down into the toe mounds so you feel a little draw in through your low belly. Take a breath here. Slide your shoulders back from your ears, but still widening the space between your shoulder blades. So try not to just drop with gravity into your arm bones. Float the left toes if that's available, just igniting the core a little bit here. And we'll do a cat-cow, but with a lifted leg. So on the inhale, the heel goes up, the chest comes up. That's where that bit of arc in your spine might show up. And then exhale, chin towards chest and knee in underneath your belly. Inhale, extend away. You can go straight to neutral or lift up a little. Exhale, round. Think of the wave of your breath, inspired by the waves of the ocean here beside me. Some will come with more power, more vigor, others with more ease. That whispering quality in the back of your throat of Ujjayi exists. Do one more in. Squeeze in, and then release back to neutral. Find that firm foundation, but tuck your toes under and let's just slide out of the arms for a moment. That'll also elongate the middle back, the lower back, finding a bit more space. Then you'll come back up to tabletop. Stretch the right leg straight back with toes tucked. Press the toes down so you feel level in the pelvis. And that can be the hardest part here, is figuring out where our lower body is in space without seeing it. A mirror can be helpful, or even a screen is helpful sometimes. As you float the back leg up, you'll feel the glute, the bum cheek engage. As you inhale, shoulders back, lift the heel slightly behind you with a straight leg, no bend in the knee, and then exhale, pull in, rounding out. Inhale, extension. Exhale, contraction. Inhale, extension. Exhale, contraction. Just 2 more. Stay with the energy of the hands. I know where it gets tiring. Stick with it. Really use the breath. That will help invigorate the whole body. Last exhalation. And then release to center as you plug the toes back underneath. Stretch the arms now further out in front. Let your forehead rest on your mat. Press into your hands And lift your hips, downward facing dog. As you pedal out your feet, finding the anchor through the mounds of the feet, spread your toes. The heels are hovering, but the knees are bent, and the tail lifts up and back a little further. Let's gradually walk the feet up the mat. Find your way to the top of the mat, hip distance with both feet, about 2 fists if you want to measure. Lift halfway, a nice long spine. Think front ribs pulling into back ribs without punching the back up. Think pull the heart forward and your shoulders back. Take your hands onto your hips and press down to come all the way up. Standing in Tadasana, releasing the arms. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Sweep the arms wide or straight up in front and bow forward. Exhale all the way out. Lift halfway. Drop the hips, step your left foot back to a lunge. A simple lunge here, reach up, inhale. Let's stay for an exhale, bend at the elbows, interlace your hands and cup the back of your head. You can go either onto the neck to hook the occipital ridge, the base of the skull, or simply hold the head and press it back into your hands and wrap your elbows forward, pull your shoulders down. Take the eyes slightly above the horizon you've been using. Now, whether it's a spot on your wall, maybe you're going up towards the ceiling. Now, simultaneously, you're going to push into your front foot, pull your hips back, release your arms up and over, that big wave flushes. And we'll lift the back knee and step back into a plank position. We'll lower halfway or all the way. I'm going to go all the way this first one. Point the toes to cobra, lift your heart, inhale. Releasing down, exhale. As we tuck the toes, press up and back. Puppy dog, kiss the ground with the forehead, don't rush here. And then lift into downward dog. Big breath in, let the head go, full breath out. Take lots of steps to the top edge of the mat and lift halfway. Big breath in, exhale, hands to hips, shoulders shrug down, inhale to rise into Tadasana mountain. Sweep up, inhale, bow forward, exhale. Halfway lifting, drop the hips, step your right foot back, find the lunge, reach up, inhale, bend the elbows, exhale, the hips move forward, hands interlace, cup the back of the head, lift up, and then hips forward, heart curls back. The degree of this curl is in generally your lower back. So if you feel compression, think zip up the front of your pelvis like a tight pair of pants. The head to hands, the eyes traveling up towards the ceiling, the sky, wherever you're gazing. As you press deeply into your left heel, pull the hips back, release the arms all the way up and over, lift the back knee, step to plank. Again, halfway or all the way down, cobra or up dog, and downward facing dog. If the puppy dog transition feels good, keep doing it. Remembering that Move Well Yoga is about moving well in your body. We challenge ourselves on our own terms, on our edges. You know the difference between doing too much and doing not enough. As you lift your heels, look forward and step to the top of your mat. Lift halfway and forward fold. Press to go all all the way up. And step your feet together, big toe mountain stretch. Hands to heart center. Into chair position. As you bend your knees, feel how your knee points come together, like you want to smear your heels wider. This will help open up your sacrum, your lower. We'll take the arms forward. Now, if the shoulders are tight or impinged, keep the hands at shoulder height. Plug the arms in, and then take the thumbs up. Where they pause, that's enough. What you don't want to do is over flare the front ribs. Hips back, arms up. Hips back, arms up. Full breath in. Sit a little deeper, breath out, challenge those legs. One more here, in. Forward fold, breath out. Lift halfway and step your left foot back to warrior one. That might mean stepping your right foot a little wider, and then your arms come up overhead. Think left hip forward, right hip back. From here, we'll take eagle arms. We're going to bend the elbows to the sides and wrap the left arm underneath the right. You want to have the elbows high, cup the shoulders for a moment, and encourage your shoulders down. Then the backs of the hands come towards center. Now they might not meet, that's okay. This is where things can get tight. If they do, you'll bring your left hand towards your face and catch that upper thumb. Now let's inhale, fingers to the ceiling, to the sky. That doesn't mean over your head, so straight up and then straight down. Push into your left heel to help push your left hip more forward. Think left pinky toe, inhale, elbows up. Exhale, elbows down. The eagle is such a well-known bird for our West Coast, and I love bringing it into the practice. Maybe we'll call an eagle in today. Now from here, as you go up one more time, pull in and hinge forward. You're gonna be loading your right leg a little more. I want you to pick up your left heel. Think of the breath of that first cat-cow. Take an inhale. And as you press into your right foot, exhale, bring your left leg up and over your right. Now you can take many steps to get that foot all the way up. That's okay. And then sit deeper, but stay tall. Think forearms are on the wall in front of you, or some kind of representation of straight up and down, like the totem. Nice and tall. 3. Almost there. 2. Now on 1, we'll release the arms, release the legs, feet together, hands to heart center. Big flush for those arms, those shoulders. Let's release the arms by the sides for a moment. Inhale, exhale. Sweep the arms up, sit into chair, Utkatasana. Think heels push out, knees push in. Gather your hands at your heart center. That helps relax the shoulders back. Your heart can lift up while your ribs pull in. Take the arms forward, about shoulder height. Stay right here, or sit a little more back, so you're pulling your knees behind your toes, and take your thumbs up. Hips back, thumbs up. Hips back, thumbs up. Full breath. Sit back. One more. Bow forward, let it go. Halfway lift and step your right foot back, warrior one. So don't go too far back. It's not quite a lunge. Your left foot left of center for more balance, and arms extend up. Bend the elbows out left and right. Then take your right arm underneath your left. Wrap around. The exhale will give you a greater wrap as you empty the lungs. And then you're lifting on the inhale, settling on the exhale. If the backs of the hands Don't come together, don't force them. Invite them over time. Big breath up. Settling in, breath out. Feel for your right heel, breath in, reach up. This movement might not have a lot of extension and compression, but you're finding what you can. Go as high up as you can manage, keeping the elbows together. On the next breath, hinge forward. Think left hip back, pick up your right heel. Use the inhale to extend and the exhale to pull the right leg up and over and wrap the toes or pinky toe to the outer shin or toes to the floor. The nice thing about putting your toes on the ground is that you bend the knee a little bit more. You get lower. And you'll work your balance over time, pulling the outer pinky toe in. If you let the foot kind of hang out, it's way more wobbly. Almost there for 3. Getting rid of the issues in the tissues here. Breathe it through. And then opening up. Feet together, hands to heart center. Arms by your sides. Take a full breath here in. A releasing breath out. Sweep up, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Lift halfway. Step your left foot back. Bring the left knee down. Left hand can be even off your mat here for a bit of a rotation, bit of a twist. Right arm extends. Let's add a little movement here to bring it into the shoulders. Soften the shoulders, bend the elbows. Bring the heart inside the knee and the arm underneath the left. Inhale to roll open. Exhale to curl through. Inhale, open. Exhale through. Just one more here. As you open back up, lift up the back knee. Still in this lunge twist, we're going to spiral out of here, coming into warrior 2. So the key is you want to get into both legs, shifting weight to your front foot off your left hand. Your left arm spirals forward, right arm back. You got it, come all the way through. Now if the knee fell in, just look down, see your big toe again, and reaching front to back. Let's straighten the front leg, add that flow, that moving quality of inhale, reach straight up. Exhale, settle back in. Inhale, reach up, look up. Getting every angle of movement we can. 3 more. Like you're floating on the ocean. Let the ocean inspire you here today to soften the hard edges. That the ocean is strong, it's very powerful, but it's also very soft. Pausing here, bend at the elbows, flip your palms. As the palms are opened up, reach out and tip back into exalted warrior. Your left hand can grace the top of the thigh or wrap behind it. That'll help remind that femur to roll in. Bend the right elbow again, catch the back of your head. Press the head to your hand and remind the right shoulder to relax. Breathe for 3. For 2. As we spiral the arms open, straighten the front leg. We'll come into triangle by flipping the palms, thumbs up. Reach forward out of your waist as long as you can, and then back of the hand to the inner shin or to the ground, to a block maybe, left arm to the sky. I always have liked in looking down in this pose to pull the chin in and imagine the back of my head reaching for the sky. But if you like to look to the side or look up, you can do so. Just make sure the neck is working so the head is not pulling on the neck muscles. Anchor into the earth and breathe the expansion of your lungs. From here, we're going to half moon, one of my personal favorites. Bend your front knee. You can take your left hand to your hip. Go slow and steady. Reach for a blocker of water bottle if you've got it. And then float the left leg to the sky. This is where we can get wobbly. Keep your eyes down. Your breath opening and closing the mid-body. You know, in life, we're either expanding into something or we're contracting away from something. Let it be both, finding that element of balance, that elegance of balance. Bring the left hand down, bring your left hip to close, and your left foot to meet your right. Halfway lift, forward fold. Press to rise, go all the way up, and hands to heart center. All right, that's a lot for one side, so let's equal the other side. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Lift halfway and step your right foot back. Find the long lunge, lower the knee, cushion it where you need to. Right hand off the mat, left hand to your knee, twist open. Reach the left arm to the sky, soften the elbows, which will soften the shoulders. And then come ahead of the knee, underneath the right arm. Thread the needle. Inhale to open. Exhale to curl. 3 more at your own pace. Don't rush. And feel the wave in the body. We are mostly water. We can be firm and hard like ice. We can be soft and kind of pushed through, pushed over, or we can find the balance between. As we come up through this last one, keep the arm reaching, but lift the back knee up. Lots of weight into your left foot, so your right hand gets light. And then spiral the arms. Might wobble a little here. It's good to wobble. And that's how we find those angles, those elements. Spreading through the arms. And here now we'll straighten the front leg, reach up, look up. I'll try not to get distracted by the waves. Settle in. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale through. 3 more. On this last pause, bend the elbows, flip your palms. Take your right hand to your back thigh, your left arm up. You can go straight through the elbow again. That feels extending through the ribs. Just watch you don't get compressive. Bend your elbow. That means compressing the back body. And then point your elbow to the sky. Breathing fully. 3. 2. Last one. As you cartwheel the arms back to open, straighten your front leg. Hinge forward, coming to triangle. Get long, long, long. Think left hip under, right hip open. This can pull a lot in our hips. So soften your front knee and then open your arms. And again, eyes can look wherever is necessary. Not about trying hard or overworking. Do your best, even if, times I've done this pose and I'm so tight, I stay really tall. There's times where I feel really open. I go right to the floor, and then there's times like today in between. As you bring your right hand to your hip, bend your front knee, reach ahead of your toes, coming to half moon. Hop your right leg to the sky. Laugh when you fall. It helps trick the brain into it being okay, not getting too serious about it. As you reach your right arm high, flex your right foot, straight through your right knee, push through your right heel. Now gradually bring your right hand to the floor, to the ground. Pivot your hip and right foot to left. Inhale, lift halfway, and then forward fold. Reach up, stretch all the way high, and bring your hands to heart center. As you release the arms, turn to face the long edge of your mat. Bring your hands onto your hips and step nice and wide. With the toes in and the heels out, we're just going to work with some wide angled straddle variations. Take the pinky finger sides of your hands and push the crease of your hips back. And as you find the crease of the hips pulling back, eventually the heart comes more level with the hips and your hands will reach towards the ground or the floor. And if it's far, use a block, please, or grab a water bottle, something to lean into, or bend your knees a lot. You might feel called to widen your feet here. Feel free to go a little wider. And then allow your head to gradually fold forward. You might find your hands get more flush to the floor, more flat. Explore what that feels like to push into the ground with your hands and slightly forward. Maybe walking your hands in between your feet. With a softness in your knees, lift your heart up halfway. Walk your hands over to the left foot and place the left hand outside the foot with a bit of pressure. So you want to push down, like you want to lift your chest that way, and then reach your right hand around and try to cup either the outside of your forearm, the outside of your ankle, or your opposite hand, and then fold through your arms. Again, the knees are soft, but strong as you push your heels away. Think navel to spine as you exhale, giving you length and working the diaphragm in the center of the body. Take another exhale, fold a little further, drop the jaw, let the head go. Then lift up halfway, walk the hands back towards center. Now, before we go to the other side, we want to rebalance the hips. So take an inhale here, weight in your heels, and forward fold straight down. Again, play with the hands, whether on fingertips, palms, or even on a block. As you push down and towards the direction of your toes, you'll feel your hips go higher as you let your head drop. Lift halfway up. Bring your right hand outside your right ankle. Create some pressure, like you're pulling your chest in that direction. Where you find balance, left hand outside your right, maybe catching the forearm, maybe the other hand, and then folding between the arms and the legs. Think navel to spine. One more full breath cycle here. And as you lift halfway in that direction, unwind and again, reset to center, soften in the knees, let the head and the heart fold. Give the head a gentle nod and shake. And as you lift halfway up, I'm going to toe heel your feet in about halfway. So you're going to turn your heels in and your toes out and come into a goddess type squat. So we'll start with elbows on knees, just so that we get the footing correct. We want knees over ankles and knees in the direction of the toes. So adjust your feet where your knees are happy. And as we straighten the legs, we're pushing off the ground and we're reaching up big. You can clasp the hands for a moment or put them in prayer. Now we'll sit down, this time keeping the heart lifted, elbows wide into goddess position. Some call this horse position as well. Now you're sitting on a wide horse. Reach up, inhale. Exhale, pull down. Like shoulders pull down, then the elbows follow. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more. Now from here, we're going to flip the hands and bring them to the tops of the knees, and you'll lean forward so your hips come back. So from the side, as we come back, as opposed to being straight up and down, you can lean in just a little further. And that really means pulling your knees behind your toes. Just a little bit of rotation again now, like we did at the start, pulling your heart forward, left shoulder, look over your right. Then inhale, center, left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. Inhale, center, left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. I tend to feel this down the sides of the spine. You might feel this in some other areas. Good, back to center and to the other side. As you come back around to center, straighten the legs, reach up. Bring your hands to heart center and simply step to the top of your mat. As you come to the top of your mat, release your arms facing that short edge. Nice and tall. We'll go through one more short flow and we'll add in some deep outer hips for this one. So as you inhale, reach up, forward fold, exhale. Lift halfway as you inhale and slide that left foot back into a lunge position. Now from here, with a block or a water bottle or hands on the floor in your front leg, your back heel starts really high and this angle is subtle. So we're just bringing the heel down and slightly opening the toes to the left. Now, if it doesn't touch down, step it in a little closer. Now, front leg is as straight as you can make it. And this is where it can be, again, challenging to feel what our hips are doing. So take your right hand and pull your right hip back. Your left hand can be on a block, which is really helpful. I don't have one here today, but you could use any prop or fingertips. You could even use your shin to get a little higher. Our hips are managed by the muscles above and below. So our core and our psoas, the connection to our hip flexors, IT, all of those things. So from here, take your right hand, the back of the hand onto your tail. Lift up just enough that you can spin your ribs to the right. And you don't have to go far to feel this. As you create that subtle bit of rotation, if you've got a block or you can use the hand on the shin, you might get a little further if that's your focus. Or if feeling what's coming up is the goal here, then stick with it. Just breathe. You might feel the left hip is dropping. Push into your left foot to feel the left hip come back up to level. Take your right arm possibly towards the sky. You might find it out towards the right and then pivot it open. If you're looking up and you close your right eye, you should still see your right hand. As you bend your front knee and land your right foot down or right hand down, pick up your back heel and lower your left knee down. Good little relief piece here. So as we straighten the front leg, you can keep the back toes tucked if you're okay working with that foot that way. Otherwise, just flip your foot and sit back onto your heel. This might feel a little unbalanced. So just going to be here for a moment. We'll take the left arm up one more time and across and see if you can catch the outer shin or foot, bending that knee. Again, the knee doesn't have to be back fully. You can do this partly lifted as well. And we're reaching across because again, as we rotate our ribs, we'll feel this down through the outside and the back of that right leg. Not here too long, just finding another angle into our hip joint. As we release that side of the foot, walk the hands forward, come back into your lunge, pick up the back foot or back knee and step forward. Halfway lift, bow it through, exhale. Then press to rise, go all the way up tall. Hips over heels, hands to heart center. Let it flow, let it go. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bow. Halfway lift. And right foot steps back. Again, the heel is high to start, and you'll start by straightening your front leg. As you straighten your front leg, you might round in your middle back. Try to eliminate the dinosaur spine by pulling your heart forward. And that takes practice over time to lengthen, shoulders back, hands on blocks if you've got them, back heel subtle angle coming down. Keep the right hand down, left hand into your hip, hug it back. Then back of the hand onto the sacrum. If the right hip's really dropped, push into your right heel. If your left hip's really out, pull the left hip back, pushing into the pinky toe side of your left foot. And all we're doing once we're here is breathing. Remember, you're not trying to breathe to muscle the body. You're breathing for your muscles to be like water, strong, powerful, but able to move. With the hands on the block or the shin, keep rolling the ribs subtly open to your left side. The hand on the sacrum, just feeling for level. Eventually, maybe the left arm comes out to the side and up to the sky. Creating these odd, what always seem awkward shapes in the moment, but allowing our body to rebalance. We use the same thing over and over again, like a same door hinge, continuing to wear and wear and wear. And if we adjust and we shift, and maybe we add another one, we start to elongate and lengthen the lifetime, the life of the body, the access that we have. Bring the left hand down, bend your front knee, pick up the back heel, lower the knee. Nice bit of relief as we pull the hips back. Again, you can stay lifted on the heel. Front toes come up or back toes can point. Right arm simply reaching up and over to the far side. You might hold the foot, you might hold the shin, but wherever you hold, create connection and pull your heart forward. Lots of extension in your breath. That whispering quality. Now gradually as you release that hand, walk your hands forward, come back into, this time, a plank or modified plank position. And we'll come all the way down onto our belly. When we come to the belly, it feels good because the whole body gets to rest for a moment, and then we engage. Press through the tops of the feet, elongate the legs, tuck the tail subtly, chin in, pull your chest up. And do pull on the ground like you're trying to slide your mat underneath you. And then releasing, exhale. Again, inhale, curl open. Exhale, come down. Then relax the knees, press up and back, child's pose. Big toes touch. Arms extend, forehead rests. Let your elbows soften. Let your whole body melt. And we'll walk the hands just under the shoulders here and roll your spine up. So you're sitting on your heels at the back of your mat. If this is tricky on the knees, put lots of cushions between your hips and heels. We're just going to be here for a couple breaths as we lean back. Lift your bum up and forward of your heels. So your knees are open in this case. This is called saddle pose. And you can lean into fingers or knuckles. And you'll feel the belly of the quadricep really stretch here. If it feels good to go up again and then tuck, do that. And then I like to think of little pulses like you're pushing down into your knees and then relaxing the quads. You feel as you push into your knees, that's when your glutes give a little squeeze. And that helps to release the front of the leg into the quadricep muscle. If you can go back further to elbows, you're welcome to do that. Good. Otherwise, starting to come back up. Bring your hands forward and just stretch the legs back for a moment. From here, we'll come into a seated position. Bring the legs around in front. Now, if the legs around in front, bring your right leg over your left into a half Gomukhasana position. We're working a bit with the hips here and the hamstring. So as knee comes onto knee, the ankle out to the side. We'll take a simple twist with left hand to knee, right hand behind. You can even open your left hand into a mudra, so the back of the forearm presses into the top of the knee. Just elongating the whole right side of the body. It's such a remembering of our physical asana practice time and time again, that it's not about force. And the more I ask practitioners that have practiced for many, many years, it's less about the physical movements. It's more about what we find in the process. The mental connection to our physical body. We'll gradually come around. We'll face forward. We'll take both arms up on the inhale. And we'll reach forward towards the extended leg. Now you can either catch the back of the calf, the ankle, or if you can reach the foot, go ahead and catch it. If that seems far, the hands can just be out to the sides, but inhale your heart nice and high. Exhale your shoulders back and soften your elbows. You might feel this more in the back of your left leg. Though the head is coming forward, think of pulling your chin up and back so that the neck feels really long. Like one day your head and your toes might touch one another. Seems far-fetched, but it gives us direction. The wave of your breath into your lower back, think of the inhale might lift you out, but the exhale, the navel pulls in towards the spine, creating a little more space to go a little further. Gradually roll back up. And we'll do the final angle, which is over towards our bent foot, the right foot on the left side. And you'll start with your left hand behind just to keep the spine nice and tall. And reach your right hand out and away across towards the far right corner above your right toes. And then your left hand will come around to meet it. Now, once we're here, we can push away from the ground, but then pull the shoulders back and grip into the floor or your mat. I've got sand here, so it's harder to grip. It's like gripping to quicksand. But keep pulling your heart in that direction. If the right hip lifts too far, too fast, so anchor the right hip down. And in time, you might lower your elbows enough that they touch the floor or the ground, but without forcing them in that direction. Big breath here. Navel to spine. Gradually, you'll walk back up to sit tall. Lean back, stretch your right leg out. Bring your left leg over. Half Gomukhasana, Ardha Gomukhasana. Flex the toes. We start with the rotation to the left side. So we've just left this position in some facets, but now we've changed the angle of the hip. Sit tall on the inhale. Maybe the mudra with the hand, keeping the energy sealed. You can close the eyes if that feels good. Gazing over your shoulder. Think about being tall and strong, but softening where you can to actually gain even more. That idea of give and take, I'm sure you've heard over many years and many circumstances. And we give a little, and we take a little, and we find the balance in between. Gradually unwind, come back to center, reach both arms up, inhale. Hinging forward, exhale, maybe catch the foot, the back of the calf, anywhere. You might even catch the ground on either side, bringing the head forward. But as my teacher, Kristen, always says, if your head and your heart are in a race, you certainly want your heart to win. Keep encouraging the heart up and forward. Soften the shoulders back in a way that's pulling the heart ahead. Think of the wave of breath down into your lower back. Pushing through the heel, even some tension into your foot pushes back against your hands, create some traction. One more full breath cycle here. And come all the way up on the inhale. Let's turn to face that bent foot off to the right-hand side. Start with your right hand behind, left hand reaching up past the toes as far as you can. And then the right hand comes to frame the foot. Bend at the elbows, soften the chest, the jaw, shrug the shoulders back. If your right foot's falling out to the side, keep it at 12 o'clock. Still subtly engage the inner thigh. Make these last few breaths really count. The longest inhale thus far, the longest exhale. Press the hands back up, come to sit tall, lean back, stretch that left leg out, tap out the legs and roll all the way onto your back. Hug your knees in for a moment. That should feel good to relieve any excess tension in your lower back and set your spine to neutral. Stretch your legs out or keep the feet flat and the knees touching. Let your palms fall open left and right. Take a full breath in and a full sigh through the mouth. When we move in asana, we are tapping into our energetic body. The energy of our body is held in our experiences, our memories, the things that happen. We can easily focus on the negative, the things that could go wrong, the things that went wrong. And it is a practice and a training to bring your mind back to gratitude, the things that have gone right, the amount of connection and support that you have in your life. Just being here in this practice and making and creating the space of time and energy to explore what could come up. It doesn't mean there's anything to fix or anything to change, but just to recognize yourself for being here, for showing up, for exploring the layers. We move through our physical layers, our mental layers, our spiritual layers. Picture as you lie here your favorite place to be. The way the air smells, the way your skin feels, the ease in your body, the joy in your heart that shows up when you even consider this place. Our mind is so powerful. Just by visualizing, we create a physical, a visceral sensation in our own body. Stay here as long as calls to you to be here. And feeling a call to move again. Start with fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. A big stretch and a sigh. And bend your knees and roll to one side. Keep your eyes closed, staying in that connection of place, your favorite. Come back to sit tall. Lift your hands to your heart center. Bow inward. And gratitude for your time, your energy, and your continued commitment. Namaste.